Okay, let's do a little talk about percents right now. Percents we usually teach in proportion problems because you'll see a problem that looks something like this. Usually 3 out of 5. If something happens 3 out of 5 times, how many times will it happen out of 100? The word percent means out of 100. So we're trying to find out how many times something happens out of 100. If something happens 60% of the times, it means that out of 100 times, it's going to happen 60 times. And that's all that the percent means. But we don't really need to do these, and I'll show you why. First of all, let me just go ahead and solve for this. So we're going to do this like any normal proportion problem. 5 times x is 5x equals 3 times 100 is 300. I'm going to divide by 5. I'm going to divide by 5. Boom, x equals 5 goes into 36 times, 0 is 0. X equals 60, and my answer is going to be 60%. Okay? Now, it's 60% because it's going to happen 60 out of 100 times. And it's okay to use a percent times. Think about it as kind of like a 100 out of order, right? Like a 0, 1, 0, look at sideways 1, I don't know. Think about it however you want. But that just means it's going to happen out of 100. The problem is whenever we do math, when we solve for x and we do all that, we don't care about it being out of 100. We just want it to be out of 1. So we're always off by a couple decimals. So here's the big thing that you need to learn on this, is that when you're doing math, unless you have this x over 100 thing, you can't do math with percents, okay? You always have to convert them. So you convert things by moving them over 2 decimals, because that's what the 100 is. Best if I just give you an example, okay? If something is 53%, that means it happens 53% of the time. But I can't do math with that, okay? For me to do the math, I just need to know how many it'll happen one time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the decimal on the 53, and I'm going to move it back to, and it's going to be 0.53. So if something happens 53 times out of 100, it means it's going to happen 0.53 times out of 1. That I can use for math. So when you're asked to do math problems, don't use the number that comes with the percent ton. Always use it with a decimal. When you talk, say the word percent. Okay, if you're doing like a word problem type of a thing, if people understand that. But in math, always use the decimal. So let me show you another way to do this problem. 3 divided by 5. Just do the math. What is 3 divided by 5?
The answer is 0.6.
0.6. Now, well, how do you turn that into a percent? Well, remember, percent is always going to be the bigger number by 2 decimals. The math is going to be smaller by 2 decimals. So if I want to call this a percentage, I've got to make it bigger by 2 decimals. So I'm going to go 1, and I need to do a placeholder, and I need to go 2. My decimal would be right there, and that would be 60%. So if I want to convert something else, what is 3%? Well, there's a decimal right there. I'm going to go this way, add a placeholder, go another. 0.03 is a number that I have to use when I do the math, okay? If something were 123%, okay, I just go over twice, and the math I would use would be 1.23. Okay, if you do some math and you find out that your answer was going to be, let's say 23%, I just make it smaller by 2, and the math I would use would be 0.23. Okay, let's say I do the math and it's 0.09. Okay. My math says 0.09, I move it twice, that would be 9%. So there's a lot going on here, but it's a lot easier if I just show you the math. But the big thing on the percent is how to do this in equations. To do that, I need a clean board. So let me wipe it first. Okay, the board has been wiped. Now, we're going to do some word problems, but here's what you really need to know. Whenever you're doing a word problem and you see the word is means equal, okay? If you see the word of, the of means times, okay? And so that's what we're going to focus on these percent problems. We're going to worry about the is and the of. Now, a lot of teachers like to do something called is over of equals x over 100, and if you've learned that, that's great, and you can get right to the percentage. But if you can learn the way I'm doing it right now, it'll also help you on other word problems that have nothing to do at all with percents. So learn how the is and the of works in word problems. There's 3 different ways to say them. Here's number 1. Okay, so I have myself a problem right up here. So let's go ahead and use is, it means equal, of means times. 33, what does 33 mean? Good, 33. That's what 33 means. The word is, so that one right there. The word is means equal. What percent? That's the x. Whenever you see the word what, that's your x. Of means times. So I could write the times right here, but I know it's going to be times 143, and in math, we write it like this. Okay, we do the 143 in front of the x. Now this is my equation I'm going to solve for, okay? I'm going to use the 143. I'm going to do it to both sides. Now you're looking at this going, that is a mess. I don't want to have to do that. You know, your teachers are going to generally let you use a calculator for this. What is 33 divided by 143?
The answer is approximately 0.2.
We're going to say 0.23. Now, that's not the percent answer, that's the math answer. But we want to know what percent. So now I have to say it in terms of a percent, and that's when I move the decimal over, because remember, the percent is always bigger than the math by 2 decimals. So the answer is going to be 23%. 33 is about 23% of 143. Well, 23% is really close to 25%, right? So that would be about a quarter. So what's 33 times 4? Well, 33 times 4, that would be a, times it by 4, that would be a 2, 12, 132. So it's a little bit short, but that's a little bit short. So I can look at this and now go reasonably, by me doing some estimates, I can kind of check it and say, yeah, that looks about right. Okay? So that was one. We didn't know the percent. What's the second way we can do this problem? Okay, so now on this one, the what, I'm going to start with that. What is? I don't know. X. I don't know, so I write X. Is, that's my equal sign. 22%. Remember, I said you can't do math with the percent sign. You have to turn it into the decimal. So this one's going to become, to make it math, I've got to make that 0.22 to do that. Of 53. That means times 53. Well, here I don't have to do a whole lot. If I want to know what is 22% of 53, all I need to do is multiply these together. What is 53 times 0.22?
The answer is 11.66.
So 11.66 is 22% of 53. Okay, so we're just filling in the is the equal. We're just trying to figure out what is the what is the percent, what is the of, what are we timesing by, and that's the second way to do it. We have one more. Here's number 3. Okay, so now on this one, 49. What does 49 mean? You know what it means? It means 49. It's really that simple. We already learned what is means. That's where I'm going to put my equals. 16%. I'm doing math. I don't do math with the percent sign. So that just becomes 0.16. Of means times. Times what though? I don't know. So that's my x. 0.16x. Okay, so that's just a third way of how to write these equations. Now I go ahead and divide each side by 0.16. They go away. X equals. What is 49 divided by 0.16?
It's 306.25.
306.25. Okay, so that means 49 is 16% of 306.25. So you're going to get some practice problems. Take a look at the practice sheets that I have. Do these a few times, okay? And you'll see that it'll become really easy. And it'll even help you knowing that of is times is equal. It'll help you with other word problems that don't deal with percents as well, okay? So I hope that helped you on percents, and I hope you feel really good about it.